All right, we are live, and we are here
Yeah.
again to talk
Hi.
to Ronak again. Hi, Ronak.
Hi.
Ronak is one of our patrons. If you are an Atheist Republic patron, you could request to talk to us. Message me on Patreon. Don't message me anywhere else. I can't check everywhere else. And also we're live streaming this on Twitch and also on my personal Armin Navabi YouTube channel. So follow us over there. But this will be once the live stream is over. We will publish this on Atheist Republic. But if you want, the Patreon discussions are live stream on Twitch and my personal Armin Navabi YouTube channel. Link in the description. But so Ronak wanted to challenge me today. Oh, Soha is here. Hi, Soha. Um, Ronak wanted to challenge me today when it comes to some of my views about politics. I criticized. So Ronak is a Hindu, correct?
Yeah.
Right? And you're a left. You're a leftist. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. I mean,
Left-leaning?
it depends on the meaning of the term. Like, yeah, but
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
against right wing. So,
Oh, you're against right wing. Okay. And
yeah. Yeah.
you wanted to criticize some of the stuff I said about left wing
Yeah.
politics in India. You want to criticize me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So, first of all, I want to say that I acknowledge that some of the things you said is right. I mean, it's not that you are completely wrong. I mean, for example, the Quint, I mean, they have a soft corner for the Muslims. I mean, yeah, they have a soft corner for the Muslims. So what they did, like, for I want to give an example here. So some years ago, they wrote an article on what are the negative impacts. Not an article, also I think they published a video on I mean the negative impacts of fasting during Navaratri. So Navaratri is a Hindu festival. There is a Durga Puja festival. So they gave I mean released that video. But last year during Ramadan, they wrote an article. What are the benefits of fasting during
No
Ramadan?
way.
Yeah,
Oof.
so that's like a huge, I mean that's like a bias, obviously, because because the same thing they are telling the advantages for Muslims, but for Hindus it becomes a very negative. I mean, it has detrimental health effects for Hindus, but for Muslims it becomes a positive thing anyway. So this kind
Right.
of biases exist, and moreover, yeah, you are, this is right also, that the left wing sometimes tries to exaggerate things, and I mean, yeah, to show it in that way. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after being said that, now I want to start trying to cover all the points. So first of all is the Bangladesh point. So first
But
point
can
is
I
that,
correct you on something? Having
yeah,
a
sure.
soft spot for Muslims, I think, is a okay. Having a soft spot for any group of
Yeah, yeah,
people, that's
yeah.
okay. It's the soft spot for Islam that we have an issue with. Oh wait, sorry, that was the echo. I'm gonna keep my voice down. Um, it's okay. I mean, this is one thing that actually I like about the left is their obsession in protecting people from harm, especially minority group, especially groups that are in danger, right? That's one thing that the left
Yeah,
does well. The problem is that in their plan, in their methods to try to protect minority groups, sometimes they go as far as promoting their crappy ideas or defending or making arguments for their crappy ideas, right? You don't
yeah.
need to argue that people have good ideas in order to protect them. You can protect them without making excuses for their crappy ideas. So that's the problem. So it's okay for people to want to protect Muslims. In fact, I do that as well. What's wrong is when do not make excuses for Islam in an attempt to protect Muslims. That's the line, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Like protecting Muslims is like, I think that should not be even the question. Like everyone has the right to. I mean, what can I say? Everyone should have the fundamental rights. Now, fundamental rights are also a human construct. So, but I think everyone should have the fundamental rights. So yeah, at least in countries like India, which are like democracies and secular countries, this is not like countries like Saudi Arabia and all, where like it's a monarchy and Islamic theocracy. So there you can't expect some other religious groups to have rights. But yeah, but I think in countries like India, everyone should have the right to believe whatever they want and practice whatever they want without harming some other people.
Mm.
So at least as long as they're not harming. But it doesn't mean that we should like the people who claim to be atheists, and I mean, not atheists, they don't claim to be atheists, but they are very much like they will always criticize things about Hinduism. They will be very much critical about Hinduism like you are. But whereas there are nuances like which they don't understand. I mean, you also sometimes you are criticizing Hinduism, but you don't understand the nuances. There are lots of nuances, and you just don't want to understand also, or the leftists also don't
Me?
want to understand that.
Oh.
Yeah, you also, like when you are
Okay.
reacting to several videos. So what happens that I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, they are not trying to understand the nuances. I mean, it's okay, like they are treating everything from an atheistic perspective. But when it comes to Islam, they become very much like it seems that they have become Muslims. Like they try to somehow, what can I say, correlate with the Muslims, and they I don't know, like this is something too much for
All
me
right,
now.
all right.
So
Something,
okay.
okay? Let me tell you about the nuances. First of all, if I have time, I would like to understand the nuances of Hinduism, but there's many
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
other
I
things,
mean, you don't
okay?
have the burden to understand the nuances.
Yes, but I don't need to understand the nuances to be able to take a giant dump on Hinduism, okay? Here, let me tell you, by the way, there's a little bit of an
Yeah.
echo. Can you reduce my volume? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Um, for example, imagine I said, there
Okay.
are leprechauns living in my underwear drawer, okay?
Mm,
And then you say,
mm,
like, that's ridiculous. And I say, like, listen, let me tell you about the history of these leprechauns. Let me tell you about their culture. Let me tell you about their diet. Let me tell you about their songs that they sing and the practices and the details behind the stories of where they came from and these people and their race and their ethnicity. There's so much nuance in the behind the story of the leprechauns who live in my underwear drawer. And maybe there is a lot of nuance. Maybe I have like books and books and books about the details about these people of leprechauns who live in my underwear drawer. And I'm not saying the nuances are not there. There might be a ton of nuance. There might be thousands of libraries filled with details about how where these leprechauns came from and what did they do. But I'm not. I don't have to know that nuance to be able like to say, yeah, I don't. That's just ridiculous, right? That just doesn't make any goddamn
yeah.
sense, right?
But
So yeah,
here
go
I
ahead.
want to, yeah, I want to
Yeah, go
make
ahead.
here a point that I'm not even talking about the right to say something. Like, obviously, everyone has the right to, I mean, I believe that everyone has the right to say whatever they want, unless and until they're inciting violence. I mean, otherwise, they should, yeah, they should have whatever right they want to say without understanding things or not understanding things. But the point is that, yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just about the rights. Of course, we have the rights. It's about even if you talk about, see, there's three levels, okay? Um, no, actually, let's just say two levels to simplify it. There's two different discussions. Do we have the right to say it or not? Of course we do. The second question is like, fine, you have the right to say it. Is it a good idea or is it a bad idea, even if you have the right? Okay, I'm saying
Okay.
different religions are crap without the
Mm,
understanding the nuance. It's so the
mm,
religions are so obviously insane
yeah.
that dismissing them without understanding the nuance is not just that we have the right to it. I go beyond that. I think that's the right way to do it as well. Like, you don't have to understand the nuances of witchcraft to be able to know witchcraft is not a real thing, okay? I mean, if you could do it for your own entertainment or for your interest to understand the nuance, but these things should be dismissed. All of them should be dismissed without understanding the nuance. The evidence is not there. That's all you need to know. But go on.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not talking about the belief in these things. I'm talking about the like. Suppose you want to. How can I say? Suppose you know that some of Aristotle's views are wrong, and now, so you.
No, don't worry.
Hmm.
Don't worry about
So
the
if
things that. Yeah, you
okay,
just keep talking. I'm
so
highlighting
if
things.
you want to write, I mean, academically analyze what Aristotle said, then you
Hmm.
can't be just like, oh, Aristotle is a moron, whatever he said is bullshit. You can't say like that. I mean, Aristotle was a great figure and he said certain things. Many of his views are wrong, many of his views are not scientifically accurate, but still we don't just go on saying like Aristotle is a moron, Plato is a moron, Homer is a moron, so Iliad and Odyssey is bullshit. We don't go on saying these things. Yes, one of the main reasons is because no one believes in them word by word and no one considers these texts as sacred. That's why we don't need to criticize them. But the academics who do read these texts, they go into the nuances. I'm talking about that academic part. So when someone reads I'm talking about this academic thing. Okay, so someone, when they are in the academia, who are reading, who are doing an, I mean, how can I say, who are doing an analysis of suppose Mahabharat, they have to go into the details. They can't just say, and oh, Mahabharat is a moronic text. I mean, that is
All right.
not an academic
Can we?
analysis.
Let's go to the politics that you wanted to discuss because that's what I titled this
Okay.
video. So yeah. Okay.
Okay, okay. So this is the point. Okay. So now first thing is that the Bangladesh issue is there. Armin. Okay. So you said, so first of all, that guy said that Bangladesh is going. Is I mean, the per capita income of Bangladesh has increased. Is more than India at the present time. Now, this information is half information because he is talking only about the nominal per capita and not the. There is another per capita. What it is called? Nominal, and
G-
another one is.
mean
No, one is nominal per capita and another
GDP.
one is the okay.
Hmm.
And
The
so not
average.
GDP, GDP per capita I'm talking about. One is
Yeah,
the
nominal.
nominal and another one is the PPP, I guess.
Average.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. So no, that is the purchase power parity basically. So in
Hmm.
purchase power parity terms, India is still ahead, and there are other nuances again here. So
All right, so
simplifying
for
this
people
issue
who
is
have no
also not
idea what you're
right.
talking about, for people who have no idea what you're talking about, we're talking about a video that I was reviewing, and in there they were trying to suggest that look, Bangladesh is way ahead of India
Hmm.
because in India people are obsessed over things like love jihad, and that's why India is falling behind. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, it can't be that simple. Obviously, Bangladesh has its own religious fanatic problem. Actually, Bangladesh sometimes seems like it has worse of a problem than India when it comes to religious fanaticism. Secondly, there are many different external factors that could lead into Bangladesh being better in some metrics. The guy in the video seemed to be simplifying it. So that was my point.
yeah,
One example I gave is
yeah,
like a lot of the foreign companies investing in Bangladesh,
yeah.
to do
So, but
manufacturing,
the
especially
reason is
clothing.
that when foreign companies are investing in a certain country, the internal government and internal people also have to take some initiative for that. It will just not magically happen. Okay,
Hmm.
the claim is not completely right, and the claim is not completely false also. So it is like okay. So,
But
but
that
the
wasn't my
point here
point.
is that
My point was even if Bangladesh is ahead, you
yeah, yeah,
cannot
yeah.
just be
I'm
like
saying
yeah. That guy seemed to be
yeah,
like
I'm not.
that
Yeah,
guy.
but the guy is not saying that Bangladesh is ahead because there is no. I mean, the problems he cited: hate speech, mob lynching. That these problems are not there in Bangladesh. That's why Bangladesh succeeded. That was not his point. Basically, the point is that Bangladesh in India is considered by many people. Bangladesh is considered as a very slang word, as a slur word, because Bangladesh is seen as a very underdeveloped country in India. So for Indian
Mhm.
people, Bangladesh is a very third world, underdeveloped country. But suddenly, which the Indian people, not hated. I mean, just some days ago there was NRC CAA regarding that.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, so I agree with Katie. I'm not talking about that only. So just some days ago there was NRC CAA issue. So many people were like, "Oh, Bangladeshi immigrants are illegally coming in India, and they should be just turned out, and that's why an NRC is required. That is a National Register of Citizens is required." And all these there are legal things that they were talking about, and many people were protesting against that, and many things were happening. But the point here is that Bangladesh, which you always thought that it is so underdeveloped, like it is not even in comparison with India, that suddenly goes above India. That is that is a backdrop for India. Like India is not developing at that rate, and he is just criticizing India and not in relation with what is the internally happening in Bangladesh. That is not his concern here.
Yeah, but he was saying like, look, why are we talking about these things instead of these
No, no,
things?
no. No.
Right
He
before this
wasn't
was on a
saying that.
video. This was on a video about love jihad, and then he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
look how far behind we are in Bangladesh. We should
yeah.
focus on the economy." I'm
I'm.
like, I'm like, yeah. I mean, this criticism of why are we focusing on love jihad in India, you could say
Okay.
that about Bangladesh as well. Like Bangladesh, why are you focusing? Why are you chopping up atheists in your streets? Um, I mean, they seem so. I mean, it just didn't seem. It just seemed unfair to be like, oh, it seemed like it was suggesting that, and if it didn't, it just needed to be more clear about like it could have like mentioned like by the way, Bangladesh has its own problems, Islamic problems as well. Like
They don't require to mention that. Actually, the intention was not to discuss the internal problems. Since see that video was catered to Indian audience. Okay, so when they are talking to Indian people, they are saying like, "Oh, see, the Bangladesh, which you always consider to be underdeveloped, that also has gone above you. What are you people doing? You are investing your time in unnecessary issues." That was the main message. What Bangladeshi people are doing, that is not the concern in the video. So that is what I
my
understood from
point is
the
that
context.
my point is that the reason why you shouldn't be focusing on love jihad is because it's a conspiracy theory, not because there are other things happening. Because
Yeah, I'm coming to
if it
that
was
point. I'm coming to that.
if it was a serious issue, then you don't. It doesn't have to be the worst thing that is happening in India for people to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, so I'm
people
coming
could
to that point.
some person can be like, "Hey, I'm gonna rescue dogs in India," and somebody gonna be like, and imagine that is an issue. It's not the biggest issue, but it is an issue. You could be like, "Hey, why are you rescuing dogs? We have like COVID going on in India, and you're focusing on rescuing dogs." No,
Okay, okay, okay.
that's not a
Okay, so
legit
let
point.
me. Acha,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, I will come to that point. Okay. So now, next you say that Hindutva also talks about bigger problems to distract people from problems that exist.
I
Okay,
said
so
that.
you said that, yeah, that Hindutva also talks about bigger problems to distract people from problems that exist. I
I
mean, you
didn't.
said
Did
something
I say
similar. This
that?
is not an exact. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
you
that
said
doesn't
something
sound
similar. This
like
is not
me.
an exact quote.
What was
I
the
mean, you
exact
said like
quote?
exact quote was very long, so I'm putting it simply. Like you
Okay,
said that,
that's
oh, I mean,
not.
this is the same tactics used by Hindutva. So they also, when you start saying something like free speech issues in India, they will say that, oh, see, there is COVID going on. Why are you talking about it now? So let's focus on the bigger issues. You said that,
My
okay.
philosophy is that even if the motivations of people is, if there's an agenda behind talking about human rights, of legitimate human rights violations, if the agenda is not to actually save people, I don't care. I take it. I'll take it. You know what I mean? As long as people are like, for example, let's say Turkey is talking about Uyghur Muslims in China, and it's not the fact. Maybe like some politicians in Turkey, it's not that they care actually about human rights. It's morely a geopolitical move, and they're trying to present themselves as a leader of the Sunni Islamic world. Okay, that's their motivation, not
Yeah.
the fact that they actually care about Uyghur Muslims. The fact is that not that enough people are talking about Uyghur Muslims, so I'll accept that. I'll take it. I'll try to reward them with whatever the crap they want. Like, you want more attention, you want congratulations. I don't care. You talking about human rights violation? I give you, I give you all the rewards. That you want votes. What do you want? Okay, so I'm saying, like, we, because so many people are not talking about human rights violations, we can't be that picky. So if Indians are going to talk about Uyghur Muslims, um, and they have a political agenda, thank you Hindus, for keep talking about it. I'll take it. Okay, like, whatever is your agenda, I'll when it comes to
No, but
that, I'll clap. I'll be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, go on.
but it was not about that actually. You said something else. I mean, you said that, I mean, like the way Quint is going from love jihad to some other topics. So Hindutva also moves from, I mean, certain issues that you raise to some other topics to distract people. That was your point. So now, here the problem, I mean, what I found that problematic in this concept is that the problem of love jihad is non-existent. So it is not even a real problem. So going to a bigger problem, it is not going from a smaller problem to a bigger problem. It's going from a non-existent problem to real problems. So the thing is that, okay, now I come to the point that you say that, I mean, just now you raised the issue that love jihad is problematic because it's a moronic idea. That has been said by Quaint, I mean, the left-wing politicians, again and again, that it's a moronic idea. So in this particular video, what they are trying to say is that, I mean, that, I mean, this topic is comes. That's why, because there are politicians in India who are asking votes in the name of love jihad. They are saying that if you give us votes, then we will stop love jihad. So they are trying to remind the people that there are other important issues which the government is not, I mean, giving attention to instead of love jihad, which the government is giving too much attention. Okay, so the government itself is giving attention on love jihad. That is very surprising, that this is like a such mythical concept. I mean, they're creating a mythical concept and saying that, see, love jihad, if it is like kidnapping a girl and forcing her to marry, that is already a crime. That is a crime, kidnapping a girl and forcing her to marry. That is
You don't
what the Bengal will say includes
don't
West
worry
Bengal.
about
So
what I'm
Bengal is
highlighting.
already had their, if they're in Bengal. What is that? Okay, so that is that
You
is
don't
what I
worry
think.
about
So
what I'm
for
highlighting. Just continue. Okay,
okay,
but go
okay.
on.
So I'm going to read out, like, Yogi Adityanath, who he is.
Who?
Yogi Adityanath, the Chief
Oh
Minister of
yes,
Uttar
Yogi. Yeah,
Pradesh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yogi Bear. Yes, I know
Yeah,
him.
he recently gave a statement that if you regarding love jihad, that if you don't mend your ways, that is, if you don't stop love jihad, then Ram Nam Satya journey will begin. Ram Nam Satya is like when Hindus take their dead for burning, they chant the Ram Nam Satya hymn. So basically, they are saying that if you don't stop love jihad, then we will kill you. So I mean, see, the chief minister is coming and saying this. Like, can you
Yeah, I know.
imagine?
It's
I
crazy.
mean, so this is like, and people are
Yeah, I
voting for
agree
this
with.
thing.
I agree that
People
that
are
is
voting for.
crazy, but the most effective way of tackling that is to tell people why this is crazy, rather than telling them why you're paying attention to this and that. Just
No, I
show
mean,
them why
how
this
do
is
you know?
crazy.
No, how do you know it's the most effective? There is not any conclusive study that which is most effective
Because
and which
it's
is
important.
not.
Because to them, no, okay. Because okay, well,
I
sure,
mean,
fine. This is my
I mean,
guess. Okay,
this may
hold
not. I
on.
mean, this may work for India. I mean,
Maybe
you don't know which works for which. Some people may get
okay,
motivated by looking at, oh, there are other important issues that I should vote for at least. Not, not talking about
okay, fine,
speaking,
fine.
discussing.
This is
But
my
when it is about
hypothesis.
voting a political. Mhm.
This is a hypothesis, not a theory. You might be right. I might be wrong. Okay, but
Okay.
I
So
think
the
telling
next point, so
people.
that is the point, that when you say this, that why we are going from love jihad to this is because love jihad has become a politics issue. People are playing
I'm
politics on this issue.
Of
That is the
course, I
main
didn't say it's not a
concern.
political issue, and my
Okay.
response to it is also political. I'm just saying the
Okay.
best political response to this political issue is to tell people
Okay.
why they shouldn't care about it, rather than telling them there's other important things. Because as long as they think that's a real thing, they think this is important to them. This is really important to them. Okay,
No,
so
but
you should
they
tell
have
them
they have
it's not going to be. I think maybe I'm wrong that if somebody's passionate about something, telling them that don't be passionate about this, be passionate about that thing instead, it's really hard to do because people don't choose what they're passionate about, right? So instead of telling
yeah.
them this is not that important, this other thing is that important, like tell them that this is, instead of telling them this other thing is more important, you have to tell them why this is not even real. I think that's
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe your
No,
method
no,
is
no. I
better.
mean, if
So
you are telling that this is not real, like they are saying that it is not real. For example, I want to highlight a case. This is he said whatever he managed. Okay, so now I want to mention the case of, there is a case of Shalini. So there is a girl. So she is a Hindu girl. She fell in love with a Muslim boy, and they were in love for 6 years. And after that, when she was 22 years old, they just fled from the house, and because the family will not agree, definitely, and they married. Okay, so when they went to the court for marrying, so when they went to the court for marrying, so not court, I mean, I don't know. So they, when were marrying, they were asked who is going to convert. They were asked this question because, as you know, that there is the, if to interfaith marriage is to happen, then there is a 30-day process, and all these complicated things are going to happen, and
yeah.
anyone can object. So definitely the family members are going to object, and then they have to fight a case, and all these things, nonsense is going to happen.
So one of them had
So
to convert.
one of them had to convert. So the boy said that, okay, let me convert. Then the girl said that, okay, but I am going to your house, and it's a patriarchal society. So in India, so I am going to your house. So I am just converting. So she got converted to Islam. So here the conversion is, first of all, is ridiculous that someone has to convert just for marrying. It is not based on
Yeah.
any belief or faith. It is just
Yeah.
that I have to marry, so I have to convert. But
Yeah.
yeah, but the law is there. So
That's so
what did the
bizarre.
people do?
Hmm.
What did the people do? The girl's family filed case that this girl was brainwashed and converted to Islam, and this is the case of love jihad. And then there was what can I say, that Yogi Adityanath's media advisor tweeted, and then I mean, he started aggravating the issue. He highlighted this issue that, oh, see, this is the case of love jihad, and he made claims that the girl was sent into prostitution by her husband. I mean, he made this
Wow.
claim. Okay, that is a fake claim. I mean, just think that these are done by top level persons in the government and institutions. They are doing these kind of fake things, and
Right.
then the
By the way,
media
for
reports,
people,
especially the.
some people might not know who you're talking about. This is the guy we're talking about. Okay, this is the craziest. This guy is a fascist, Hindutva fascist, right? Is that a fair
Yeah.
assessment?
I mean, I actually see this is the left wing always uses such words, but I think I actually
I
disagree with the
think
leftist politics here, because fascism is such a big thing, and when you reduce this
okay.
to
This is
Modi,
not
Trump,
for
and
this
Yogi
guy. I don't think for this
Adityanath,
guy I think it's fair. If this guy was
yeah.
in power, this
Yeah,
guy
this
would be
guy it may be
fascist.
fair also, because yeah. But when
Yeah.
sometimes like when Trump loses the election and people say end of fascism in America, this seems
No.
to be ridiculous to me.
Maybe not.
But
Okay, it's not the same. Come on, come on. It's not the same. This guy, this guy is way over the top. This is like, if you could
yeah, he is
argue that
known
it's
for
not, you
yeah,
could
he is
argue
known
that
for
it's
hate
not fair
speech.
to call Trump a fascist. But come on, this guy is definitely a fascist.
Yeah, but he is known for hate speech. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
know, just I gave just an example. He is known for hate speech. So see, these people are just making trouble for people, and I mean with the with taking help from the family members of the girls and boys who have a conservative mindset. They're taking help of them in order to do this nonsense thing. Okay, so let me 1 minute. Just wait a minute. Uh,
People in the live chat are saying this guy is gonna, this Yogi guy is going to be the next prime
he's the
minister of
next.
India.
Yeah,
is
he's
it?
the
Is it?
next
Is he
PM of
gonna?
India. Like, yeah, if
Is,
Modi gets out of BJP, I mean, if Modi gets old or something, then he will be the next candidate for the PM. But I don't know who will vote for him or not. That is a different issue.
do you think there's a chance he's
If he
gonna win?
manages to, if he manages to create this notion all over India that the Muslims are
Yeah.
taking over Hindus and all love jihad is happening, then he may win. Also, I don't know.
Holy
This is his
crap.
main motto. This is his main agenda. So, so next. Yeah, then you say that anything you talk about, I'm gonna find something more important. Again, you criticize this in the same lines, and then you say that if you talk about COVID, I can say about global warming. And so here this is the thing, that you are talking about global warming is a long term issue and COVID is a short term issue. So if an election is going on where on one side there is COVID and on the one side there is global warming, so people will definitely vote for the COVID, because COVID is a short term issue which has to be handled immediately, and global warming people can think after that. And the practical thing is that there is no election anywhere going in the world where I mean, what can I say, opposition between these two issues, that someone is talking about COVID, the other person is talking about global warming, and they are fighting, and the politics happens on this, and votes, I mean, people give votes on which issue is more important, COVID or global warming. But this is not happening. But here in case of love jihad, hindutva, this thing is happening. People are asking for votes, are getting polarized. Some people are thinking that okay, economy is more important, but there are some people who are openly coming out and saying that no, this is not suppose, let me give one example. There has been a interview taken by some, I forgot whose interview I saw, that there was a guy, he was shouting at the top of his voice. I mean, people ask like, what do you want, what do you expect from the government, I mean, during the voting time, I guess. And he was saying like, I don't we don't want any employment and all. I mean, and the reporter, I guess, highlighted that the employment is low and all these things. Then he said, no, I don't want any employment and all, we just want Ram Mandir, we just want temple, we want that first. So he said that there are many people who said that we don't give the ruling party vote for their economic development, we give them vote for the rights of Hindus. I mean, what they mean by
Mm,
that. So definitely that is very interesting take here.
mm. By the way,
Okay,
your
so
video
I
is
have covered
frozen.
this issue.
Can I address that though? Can you
Really?
turn off? Can you turn your camera on and off? Just like we see the stop cam button below your screen. Just click it once and then re-click it. Oh no, you're still frozen. It's okay. Oh yeah, there, you're back. You're back. Okay.
I can
So let
see
me
it,
actually address this. Okay.
okay.
There's a difference between saying, okay, I say A is important and you say B is important, and let's say B is not even an issue. B is like fake. Okay. If B is
Yeah.
fake, my argument shouldn't be, I think, shouldn't be, okay, B, but A is more important than B. No, that shouldn't be my argument. My argument should be like, what are you talking about? B is not even real. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, but let's talk about another situation when it comes to vote. So that was with regards to arguing about an issue. I think if B is not even real, you shouldn't be like, hey, A is more important than B. You should focus on the fact that B is not even real.
Yeah, but many people
But when it
perceive.
comes to no, let me finish. Let
Yeah.
me finish. When it comes to voting, let's say A is real and B is also real, but A is more important than B. In that situation, if you have one party focusing on A and another party focusing on B, in that situation, this is not arguing. In that situation, I think it's fair to say I'm going to focus on this party because they're focusing on A. B is also important, but A is more important. So this I'm going to focus on voting for this party. So these are two separate
Yeah.
issues. Right, but go on.
Yeah, but here the two, yeah, these are two separate issues, but here the two issues have got mixed, where you are saying that one issue is not even important or relevant, so we should just say that this is not there, so we should not even consider that. But the point that happens is that many people do consider. Okay, can you speak a bit slower? Wait a minute. এ অঞ্জু মাসি, এই বিড়ালটা ঘরে ঢুকেছে, এটা বার করো না বিড়ালটাকে।
There's a lot of traffic noise. That's why I think.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh my god, a kitten actually has come inside my house. Okay, so what I was saying is that. Okay, so
Is
what
that
I
a
was
cat?
saying is that, yeah, that was the issue, that many people perceive that as a real problem. So if you just go and say that, oh, this is moronic, people are not going to believe you. People are not going to believe that it's not a real issue. So if you say that, oh, maybe even if that is a real issue, there are other problems that are much more important than this, I mean, issue, which is at an individual level, which is a very small problem. Oh, thank you. Actually, I'm not cutting my hair, so Barber's number, I mean, Barber has nothing to do. Anyway.
Don't worry about the live chat. I'm
So
just
this part
highlighting
is,
different comments. All right.
okay. So again, a false equivalence. So these I think are false equivalences, and they are not asking people to stop. Yeah, and they are not asking people to stop talking about things or anything. Like they are just pointing their view. So it's not like anything. People to control. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So when they are saying that people should not talk about. Yeah. So you pointed out that no one can talk about anything else but AI. You said that.
No,
I
I
mean, you
said
said that
if that
AI,
was the
if AI
standard.
becomes,
Can I
if that was the
can I
standard, then
clarify?
no one can talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, you said that if
I
that
was
was the standard, I
clarifying is
understood
that
your point. If that was the
let
standard,
me tell people who don't understand what you're talking about. Okay, I said that if you say don't talk about this because that's more important, then you could do that with every argument, okay? Because if you say like, "Hey, Armin, why are you talking about this cultural issue? We're dealing with COVID. COVID is more important." And then I could go like and tell them like, "Well, why are you talking about COVID? If we don't address global warming, it doesn't matter. COVID is not going to matter. Blah blah blah." And then you're like, "Oh, why are you talking about global warming? Because if we don't talk about AI, then AI could like there's a chance that AI could basically end the human race or blah blah blah." So given that the only existential crisis, the only crisis that could basically end the human race is this like 0.5% chance that we're going to create an AI that is going to just basically take over. Okay, so given that that could be the only, like everything else we could recover from, like maybe we'll suffer a lot and a lot of people will starve to death or whatever, but like we will probably be able to fully recover from. But if you like, maybe I'm wrong, okay, but if you focus on what could completely end us, and if you say like, well, this is it, this is AI, then no other conversation, you can have any other conversation based on the standard, because we could be like, hey, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking
yeah.
about this? No, everybody should talk about this one topic that is the
Yeah.
most important
So
topic
I'm
and
not
nothing
even.
else. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not even talking about the legitimacy of your arguments. I don't think that is a legitimate argument, but I'm not going into that. But when you are saying that no
It's an
one is talking
example.
about that,
Yeah.
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 So if
It
someone is
doesn't have to.
asking you like, oh, why are you talking about, why you are talking about this, you should talk about something else which is more important. But here the person in the video was not saying that. Yeah, so I don't think that the person was trying to say that you should not talk about anything else and you should only talk about COVID and economy. This is, he was saying that you should not at least how can I say, you should not troll or how can I say, boycott people. This targeted harassment on people and companies in the name of love jihad, in the name of these non-existent issues, and also creating politics out of it. You should not do that. He was not saying that you shouldn't talk about this or anyone. It is not about a person talking about something. It's about a country wide, like as an organization you are like projecting a particular kind of mythical concept as like the real threat, and that is what the person was talking about. So next
You're a
issue
big
that I
fan.
want.
You're a big fan of that channel, huh, Quint? Are
I
you a
mean,
fan
I'm
of
a
them?
big fan because they are one of the only ones in India who are fighting against this narrative of Hindutva and the current government. All other channels are mostly like propaganda channels for the ruling party, and they have become like Hindutva propaganda. So they
Okay,
are one of the
so
few channels which are doing that, and that's why like there is no other hope about. I mean, if we start going against
okay,
them.
but I am like I'm highlighting your videos. So can I like do you think they have anything that they said that is wrong?
Yeah, I think that the point that you highlighted, that they are exaggerating the issue, and like, yeah, that is up to some extent, that is true. They're exaggerating. I mean, up to
What
some
were they
extent,
exagger?
but
Where were they exaggerating? I don't remember.
the exaggerating is like they are showing that India is the economy is going down, COVID is going down, and they are connecting it with the love jihad. I mean,
Oh,
this
okay.
may be an exaggeration. The economy is not going down because of love jihad, but you can't say that the thing is false, because the governments are playing politics on certain non-existent issues, and the real issues get hidden. The people don't get distracted. Yeah, like Katie is very good pointing out good. The print is more neutral. The Quint is like extreme left, like woke left, and the print is not like that. Print gives how can I say, space to diverse people. So
Right, but if I criticize the Quint, if I some doesn't mean that I don't value their
yeah,
content.
it doesn't mean, I'm just saying that they are also not wrong. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right, I'm promoting them, so that's good. I'm promoting them to
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
want to know
Yeah,
the other
yeah, yeah,
side
yeah.
from India. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So, yeah, the next
is it
point that
safe for like what I have a question for the Quint reporters. Why do they keep showing themselves on camera? Is it safe for them?
I mean,
Like
yeah,
these?
definitely. It's I mean, it's not that bad. Like if I say that, like then I mean, what can I say? Like sometimes people project it like the government is so fascist that they're attacking everyone, but it is not that bad. Also, that someone can't. I mean, just
Mm.
show their face and to criticize the government. But
Okay,
yeah,
good,
there
good to know.
are many cases against journalists. There are many cases against journalists. Many popular journalists are being harassed. So there are terror cases against journalism, for journalists sometimes for no reason. And yes, there are problems, but it doesn't mean that I mean, like you just say something and you will be arrested. It's not like that at all.
Mm-hmm. I
So
don't
it's
think
not like that. Okay.
that's not what my concern is. My concern is that the Quint being associated with like anti-Hindutva narrative, and not for the government to come after you, but like a mob or something to show up at your door or something, or like if you not you don't even have to show up at your door. These
Yeah,
reporters are
yeah,
going
yeah. If a mob
inside,
shows
deep
up, then see,
inside.
they have some amount of bravery. Like there are many journalists
Mm.
in India who were shot dead by Hindutva mobs, so they have some amount of bravery for doing this kind of reports and analysis. And another thing is that if the mob comes, then the police will take action. It's not like the police is completely controlled, and it's not like that. And I mean, at least the
I
government
don't think the
will
police,
also take action
unless
just
the,
to show people that it is doing something.
okay, so if you are a Quint reporter and people now associate you with like anti-Hindutva narrative, and you're right report right
Yeah, people
in
will
the middle
hate
of
me.
it.
People will hate me, troll me, all these things. I mean, people mob can come at my house, but then I can go to the police if the harassment is like I
The
mean,
police
beyond a
usually
certain level.
shows up, even in United States or more advanced countries. The police usually shows up after you're already dead. Like this, I'm talking even the U.S. Right? It's
No,
not
no, no.
like, hey,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
people are.
This
Yeah, so
this
it's
happens
not
sometimes,
like
but it is not. This is not. I don't think like in India is such a crowded place that even if a mob comes at your house, there will be so many of neighbors of you
I'm
that
actually
will come to
changing
help you.
my.
So
I changed my
yeah.
narrative. It's not about showing up your house. These are reporters that show up in the places that the Hindutva people are having a protest. So it's not even about them showing up at your house. Like they just go there themselves, and if your face is now associated with the Quint,
Yeah, but they
then
see, for journalism, certain amount of bravery is required, and they have that. They know that
yeah, but
they face certain I mean dangers, but they do it because I mean they think that they should do something fruitful. Yeah.
mm,
But if you don't want to take that risk, then you can become a propaganda machinery. Then you will be perfectly safe. Like, but yeah, but we don't respect them. We respect the people who, I mean, maybe their views are wrong. I'm not saying that all their views are correct, but at least they are standing up for what they think is right, and at least they are not just doing some propaganda. That is,
mm.
Though
Okay, okay.
sometimes they do anti-government propaganda, but still.
By the
Anyway.
way, how many? We have 20 more minutes. How many more points do we have to
Okay.
talk? Do you have enough
So
time?
we are
Do
going
you
to
have
cover
enough?
some,
What are
yeah,
the other points?
this
I
kind
just
of
want to
other
know so
history.
that we could.
Okay.
By
So
the way,
that's what I was
Katie.
trying to say, that this kind of constant
Mm,
outrage.
mm-hmm,
Okay, it really depends on the state. Like, come on, we have footage of the police watching the Hindutva beat and shoot people in BJP controlled states, in anti BJP states. Yeah, that is also another thing. Like, if you go to very like this Uttar Pradesh and all, then it becomes very dangerous. But for example, I am living in Bengal, so Bengal means West Bengal. Here, I mean, say BJP is not that powerful, so yeah, so that kind of things is not happening. But violence happens, but not this
yeah,
kind of
check your
violence. Uttar Pradesh
privilege.
is becoming more bad. Yeah,
Okay, okay. All right,
mob lynching
continue,
happens, I
continue.
know, but this like this kind of narrative. See, Ronak is wrong. Mob lynching happens in India very commonly. Yes, it happens commonly, but what is the percentage? How many people are living and how many people are mob lynched? Just see the ratio. I mean, if you see the percentage, that is negligible. That is not even considerable. It's not like if you just come to India, you are a common person coming to India and you will be lynched. It's not like that. I mean, no one feels like that. So yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so raising these constant issues about love jihad and this nonsense issues actually distracts people from serious issues. That is what I believe. That's why it is important to compare the serious issues with this non-existent nonsense issues. Okay, then the next point is you tell that why are comparing different countries regarding the COVID. Okay, so you remember this? The in the
Yes.
video they compare different countries on the basis of COVID. So you argue that USA death rate is more than India. Now the person in the video first of all makes it clear that he is comparing countries in Asia with
Yeah, we
similar
highlighted that
climatic
fact.
and social conditions. Yeah, so here it actually inhalates all the points, because there are research papers which speculate that in colder climates the COVID spreads less. What?
Okay, you're saying the new the what do you call the commentator on the Quint was saying like, look, we're looking at only these countries so that so that they're similar, and then we're comparing them to India to show how India is doing with regards to COVID cases compared to these other countries that are similar. Okay,
Yeah,
wasn't Japan
yeah.
included in that list? Yeah, so that's not very similar at all.
Japan, no, it was not
And
included.
also, this is what I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
why
I'm
people.
coming to that point. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let
No,
me come to the
my
point. Let
point
me.
is, as people, like, I don't, are you a researcher? Do you have experience in research, publishing peer reviewed academic research? Do you have experience in that? Do you,
But
Ronak?
me,
Yes.
yeah, like I have written one or two research papers.
Peer reviewed academic research in journals? Oh, wow. Okay, so you're a researcher, actual researcher? In what
Yeah.
field?
I mean, I'm a researcher in computer science, but yeah, but
No, okay. Not
I
computers.
know
I'm talking peer reviewed
I'm
academic
not
research.
I'm not a social. I
Yes,
mean,
okay. So
I'm not
not
social science researcher, but
okay. I'm
computer
not
science
talking about
researcher.
computer
Anyway,
science. Okay.
so
Anyways, no. Let me make my point. Why are you not letting me make my point? My
yeah,
point is
but
that
I yeah, tell.
okay. Okay, you make your point.
Okay. So my point is that there have been recent papers, research papers on this issue that there have been. I mean, these research papers are not conclusive, but they speculate on the basis of the data. And these are not like random people; they are like the research papers. So they speculate that COVID can spread faster, maybe in colder countries than in warmer countries. This is one speculation, and then there are other papers which also speculate about the immunity of people, because they study that people who live in conditions which are not very hygienic, they develop. I mean, they may develop more immunity because they are already accustomed to a lot of pathogens. So these are speculations. These are not, I mean, concluded, but these are. Speculations. So on the basis of that, with similar social and political conditions, they are citing these countries. But again, I'm saying that this is not actually valid to do that. I'm agreeing that this is not valid to do that. But he also mentions one point which you ignored, that that people who support the ruling party, they constantly brag about that oh, see, the death rate in India is so less, so actually the government is doing such a good action, so the government should be lauded. I mean, they laud the government, see, like only because of Modi we are saved, so low death rate. So this is the kind of propaganda that the ruling party supporter news channels do, many other social media influencers
Right.
do,
Mm,
social media, yes. So they do this, and this is also an answer to that question. He actually says a small word before that. He mentions this thing before that, which was there, that you cite this thing, but I say that when you compare this with other similar social and climatic condition countries, then you see that India is not exceptional in that case.
okay. Yes. My point is that neither side should be doing this unless they're citing peer-reviewed research or any research from credible sources. Okay, rather than looking at the raw data themselves. I tell people do not come to conclusions by looking at raw data and comparing raw data with each other. And I tell people that we suck at doing that, okay? Let the interpretation of the raw data to be done by researchers, okay? And then check if the research is either peer reviewed or is coming out of a very credible source like a CDC or something like that, or WHO or something like that, and then look at their conclusions and cite the conclusions. Okay, one of the most obvious examples are people who like look at rape rates in India and Sweden, and they're like, "Oh, look, per capita, Sweden has more rape than India." Like, are you serious? Like, you really think that there's more rape? Like, obviously, the data, you can't just
No,
compare the data with each
obviously
other.
there are
You
other
have to
issues.
look at the data again. So this is an obvious example, but there are way less obvious examples. Okay, and we cannot detect them. So if you're trying to be like, oh, these countries are the same, so and this is the same and that's the same, you know what you're trying to do? What you're trying to do is do what a researcher does, into controlling for external factors, right? So you're trying to control for all external factors. So the only thing that is different is now the government's response, okay? But again, I'm telling you, if you think that you effectively, you as not a scientist in that specific field, if you think that we are capable of controlling for all external factors, then you're really overestimating your capacity. This is a very complicated thing, especially on something that there's so many different factors involved. Controlling for all external factors and just letting it only be like the government's reaction to be the only factor that is being compared here is a job that only a researcher can do, and even researchers can't do that, and that's why they're usually peer reviewed, right? That's why they don't just trust them. Okay, so that's why I'm saying do not trust yourself. We're like, oh, look, this number is over here, this number is over here. Let me compare them, and all of a sudden come up with the conclusion. Do not do that. We suck at that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, you are saying this, I understand, but the point here is that he was not drawing the conclusions. Yeah, he was presenting in the, yeah, it is like, it seems that there is a slight propaganda here that he was presenting the data in such a way that it will seem like the conclusion is very clear what he was trying to say. But actually, he
Yes.
was not literally drawing any conclusion. He was just presenting the data before you. He was not
You
drawing
shouldn't
any
do that
conclusion. Yeah,
because
he was
that's what
suggesting.
right wingers do as well. They're like, hey, let me show you crime rates and let me show you like compare crime rates in black people and white people, and just like I'm just giving you
Yeah,
the raw data.
so
I'm not coming up with any conclusions myself. I'm not telling you what to
yeah,
make
but
of this
this is
data.
like
I'm just
suggestive and
gonna put
misleading.
raw data in front of you and let you jump with conclusion. So you don't just put raw data
Yeah,
on the screen and be like, I'm not coming up with the conclusion, knowing what conclusions are people are gonna get out of the raw data if by just showing it to them, right? I think it's irresponsible
yeah,
for people.
but
If people are
yeah,
not
yeah,
coming up
yeah.
with the conclusions themselves, they know what conclusions people are going to take out of it when you just present them with raw data.
Yeah, but the point here is that this is first of all in response to the popular narrative of low death rate in India. This is one
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost thing that he mentions in the video, and another thing is that yeah, so another thing is not there. So he is just saying that COVID is a serious issue in India as well. That is the point he wants to make. And then
No shit.
you say that people don't take you seriously because you are talking like, oh, people are irrational. That's why India sucks at everything.
What? I
Yeah,
didn't get
that
that.
is, I think.
Torel is
So you
right.
said,
Speak a little bit slower. Okay, go on.
So he was say, I mean, you were saying that people don't take you seriously because you are talking like, oh, people are irrational. That's why India sucks at everything. So yeah, you are saying that. Do you
I don't
get?
understand. No, I don't know what you're saying. Can you say? Can you explain it
Okay,
in a
so this
different
is
way?
actually
What did I say? I said that people don't take you seriously
okay.
because you're talking like old people.
No, no, no. You said that people don't take squint seriously because they are
Oh God.
making the issue like if some people are irrational and talking about love jihad, then the whole country is sucking at everything. So they are making that
Oh
correlation,
yes.
and
Okay.
hence
Okay.
people
I
don't
got it.
take
I
things
got it. I
seriously.
got it. Yeah.
So I mean, actually, he is not making that, and that is the point that I said why the equivalence is made here because it has become a political issue. That's why. So yeah, so that
Look
I
at
have
this person.
already
Look,
told
look.
you
I
at the
have been
beginning.
very clear. Look at this person's conclusions of what I said. Is this what you got from what I said? So Armin wants to come to conclusions not on the
The
basis of
conclusion, whatever
stance,
you
neither
just said, still
argument,
there are
but on
conclusion, but
what
he
he
is
feels
delusional
about
at
the
that.
matter. Really, Kirkit? Okay, this is the conclusion that this guy got. Oh my God, I don't know what to tell you. All right, but go on, Ronak.
Exactly. Okay.
Oh
So
my God.
then you
Okay.
said that, so these are some issues. Then you said that you suck at everything because you don't care about the things we care about. So this is like you said that the Quint's view you are summarizing, like you suck at everything because you don't care about the things we care about. So this is, I think, like, yeah, some exaggeration is there, I understand, by the Quint, but this is
Mhm.
like everyone does that, right? So everyone wants other people to care about the concerns that one has, like that's why like any political
Not
party wants
everyone.
that, any organization
No,
wants that.
I don't want that. Okay,
You
here's
also
the thing.
want that. You want people to talk about atheism. You want people to talk about atheism. You want people to become atheists. So yeah,
I
so
have
that there
said the
is a
exact
kind of,
opposite of this. Nope. Nope. I have said the exact opposite
so
of
I
this.
mean, no, no,
Can
not what
I
you
correct
said.
you?
Like you, I mean,
May I correct you? May I
yeah,
correct you? I
yeah.
have told atheist activists to not make it seem like atheist activism is the most important activism. I have said that repeatedly. I have said that atheist activism is not the most important activism. There are other more important things people out there. If you're passionate about a certain form of activism, just do that form of activism without pretending like this is the most important thing that people should care about. I said every time that I said
Yeah.
for hammers, everything looks like a nail, and this we atheist activists, a lot of us are guilty of this as well. I like, if you think your activism is important, okay, try to get people to encourage people to become activists in your movement, but don't tell people that this is the most important thing that they should care about. Often you're wrong, okay?
Yeah. So if you are
So
talking
for
about the most
example,
important thing, yeah. So
if somebody wants to focus on saving dogs from abuse, they don't have to ever make an argument to anybody that this is the most important thing in the world for them to be passionate about that. I'm saying if you care about atheist activism, just do it. Don't pretend that all the world's problems will be solved if more people care about your brand of activism. That's what I've been telling people.
yeah.
But go on.
I mean, but what I mean is that obviously people have some kind of values and beliefs, and yeah. So
This guy
yeah,
loves
that's
me,
it.
by the
That's
way.
what I.
This guy is obsessed with me.
So
Okay, but go on.
acha. Then what you say is that you create a giant narrative about India that doesn't even exist. You say that this is the most problematic thing I find, that how do you come to this conclusion? I mean, how do you know that this is a non-existent state that they talk about? They are talking about the shrinking economy and the COVID, and how do you know that this is a non-existent state?
Wait, what did I say? I didn't
You
say that
said that
about
you
the
create.
economy. I said that about love
Uh,
jihad.
No, you said that to the Quint, you were talking about the Quint at that time, that you went from love jihad and started, and then you create a giant narrative about India that doesn't even
Oh.
exist.
Oh yeah, about the fact that about the narrative that seemed to me that at that time, it seemed like they were suggesting that, um, focusing. Wait, what was the narrative? That focusing on love jihad is responsible for why India is behind Bangladesh or something like
Mm,
that. That's what it came
See,
across to me.
as I have explained,
And I
as
just
I
said
have
like, why
explained you
didn't you?
that there are not.
yeah,
meaning them.
my suggestion was that maybe just focus on why I love jihad. Like instead of jumping around all over the place with your argument, just tell people why love jihad is a conspiracy theory and it's like not a real thing. Instead of like all of a sudden jumping to something else and talking about something like I that's my suggestion. It came
Yeah,
across.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it came okay. Even if that was not their intention, it came across to me and so many other people in the live chat. So this is like a maybe a marketing issue, okay? That they were saying that they were suggesting that India is falling behind Bangladesh because they're talking about love jihad, and I felt that that was not a very effective way of combating the conspiracy theory about love jihad. I it came so
Yeah, but
maybe
many
if
other
that's not
people
what they
also have.
meant, maybe
I mean,
yeah. Go on.
many other people also have said such things, actually made such similarities, because if you start making your country more and more theocratic, and what can I say, you start like how can I say that, fizzling this all these conspiracy theories, then what will happen is that the real issue, people get distracted from the real issues, and that actually have an impact on the, I mean, everything in the country. That is actually what happens. And another thing is that regarding the economy of the country, you can read reports by Abhijit Banerjee, Joseph Stiglitz, Amartya Sen, Raghuram Rajan, and many other prominent economists all over the country and the world. I mean, they have all, I mean, pointed out faults in the government's economic policies, that they were supposed to do but they
Make
didn't do. There are certain things that they did but they were not supposed to do. So obviously the government is responsible up to some extent for the
Of
falling
course.
economy. It's
Wait, do
not
you
like the
think I'm
government
saying
is
they're
not
not?
responsible.
Wait. Do you think I'm not? I'm saying the government is not responsible. My I think make a video on that specifically. That's what I think. Instead of tying Lovejaw to that, I think the Quint could have a video
Yeah,
specifically bringing on experts, quoting
yeah, they
research,
they
showing
were
you how
connecting
the
the,
government
yeah.
show how the government failed, and
Yeah,
the Indian
they
government
have
has.
made many videos.
Yeah.
They
So
have made
do
many
that. I'm
videos
not.
regarding that.
Okay,
They
great. So
were,
do those are
yeah, they
hold
were
on, those
tying
are
that
good videos.
to, because of
I'm
the
just
fact.
saying, why are you talking? I was just disappointed that the video on love jihad all of a sudden jumped on that. I was hoping that
See,
they would
like
just
when,
focus on love jihad in that video. That's what I was hoping.
okay, so when you start focusing on issues like love jihad and all, I mean, this is given by some people. I'm not sure how academically considerable this point is. That when you start focusing on these kind of issues like love jihad and Hindutva and all these kind of things, which actually create some form of hatred for some people and all these things, what happens that when foreign powers are, I mean, foreign companies are there, when they want to invest in India, and they see that the, I mean, always some kind of this lynching, always some kind of this kind of things are going on, hate speech is going on, they actually sometimes, I mean, how can I say, they start, they don't want to invest. I mean,
Good,
this
but
is given by some
that's
people.
I
I
mean
mean, this is,
that's a fair point, but that would be directly tied to love
okay.
jihad and lynching. That would be a fair video to make. I wouldn't think like that's a bad strategy because you're saying a direct like you're like, hey, this is leading to people running away from India. So that would be a fair point, I think.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
other people, there are other people who said that. But I mean, here they are connecting the two things because this is again, as I have told, this has become a political issue. That yeah. So now, so as I have told, that this is
Okay,
not
that
a
last
non-existent
point.
issue. I
Last
mean,
we're
so
at 1 hour. We're at 1 hour. What else? What other point you
yeah.
wanted to bring?
So and another, yeah, so you said that what if the people were obsessed with the festival? Will you say, you guys, why are you guys obsessed with the festival? Yeah, I think the answer will be yes. If the government gives more than necessary emphasis on the festival and asks votes in its name, that okay, we celebrate festival, please give us votes, then definitely we will say that the festival is not important. There are other important things, please focus on that. So I think that is again a false equivalence. And
Final
then
point.
there
Final
is
point. Somebody in the live chat is
yeah,
asking me, Armin, how you could talk to me, and my answer is become a patron if you want to talk to me.
yeah,
That's my answer.
the final point that I want to make is about the cultural identity. For example, yeah, so you say that when he says that there is a black Indian black ethnicity woman who is becoming the vice president of what can I say, vice president of America, and there are other things he says about this interfaith marriages and intercultural marriages. You said this like, Yeah, you said that just forget your ethnicity, color of your skin, forget your culture. I mean, what does that actually mean? I don't know. And moreover, I have this problem with when you are saying that, oh,
I don't know. You're
you
jumping
shouldn't be
around. I don't know what you're
celebrating.
saying. You're jumping around. Can you focus on one question and tell me exactly what you're asking? One
Yeah,
question, last question. Okay.
the question is that, like, when the people are I mean, when he was talking about interfaith marriages taking place in different parts, that from one
Right.
woman from Telangana marries
Oh
one
yeah.
woman from this
Okay.
part, and he was giving these examples, and you said that you just like you shouldn't be condemned for marrying people of other religion or other ethnicities, you shouldn't be celebrating that as either.
You shouldn't.
Do you
I
remember
agree
that?
with that.
Now, this argument is very similar to the argument that heterosexual people give about, like, okay, I mean, you may be LGBTQ, but there's nothing to be proud about it. Why the Pride movement? Why are you making this Pride movement? There is nothing celebrating about being
No,
LGBTQ.
no. My point is that you should be proud of being openly gay, but not just because you're gay, because being gay, openly gay, means that you are so that you are normalizing.
Yes, yes.
Let me make my point. If you are openly gay, okay, then you could be proud because you are responsible for normalizing being gay, and you chose to be openly gay. Whether it's difficult or not
Hmm.
difficult, if it's difficult to be openly gay, then you should be very proud. But even if it's not difficult, the fact that you're choosing to be openly gay is helping somewhat in the normalization. So you could be proud of that, okay? But you can't. I don't think you should be proud of just being gay because you didn't have any choice in that, right? You should be proud of being openly gay.
Okay.
When it comes
So I
to
completely agree with that.
marrying people that are in a different back, like if you have an interfaith marriage, I think what you should celebrate is the fact that you're open about it. In normal, like those two couples that I was highlighting, they were marrying interfaith or whatever. They should definitely be proud because they went and challenged the goddamn law. Even though they got married and everything was done, for the sake of other people, they're challenging this law that is making it so difficult for people to to have interfaith marriage. So couple should be prouder than most people I know because they have balls and ovaries of steel, right? So, but I don't think like yeah, I think like just because maybe you could be proud of not being closed-minded enough to only look for people that are the same background as you. So you could be a little bit proud if
Okay,
you're
so
not
let
an
me,
active.
can
If
I
you're
can I make a point?
yeah, go on. Yeah.
Okay, so you like I mean gave like long points here. The yes, the person is trying to make the point that the whole world is becoming more okay. So the point here is that okay, so you gave a whole lot of emphasis on why the person is celebrating these weddings. Now the point is that in India, like honor killings happen. There are so many honor killings that happen just for marrying someone outside your caste. Forget
Mm,
multiculturalism, forget multi-ethnicity, forget
mm,
multi-religion. Just for marrying
yeah.
outside your caste, people are killed by the family members, and there
Mm.
are
So
many
you're
other cases
saying
where the people are beaten up, people are challenged. So in such a scenario, when someone is living openly as a multicultural couple, they face a whole lot of discrimination from the society. Many people don't give them houses to live in, and that's what is celebrating about, and that's what the point that person
that's
was
my point. You
making.
just
So
made my
you
point
criticize.
though. You
Yeah,
made my
but you
point.
in the video it seemed like you were criticizing about the cultural identities, and I mean you were
No,
basically
you just
criticizing the
made my
point that why
point.
do you celebrate the
No,
identity.
I just said don't
Yeah.
we okay,
So
so
that's what
maybe
I
yeah,
wanted to
you're
mention.
okay.
Similarly, Kamala Harris's and
You just
similarly
said
Kamala Harris
openly.
last point. The Kamala Harris
Go on. Last point.
Kamala Harris's point. So now someone can say that what's proud about being a woman and becoming the vice president? There is nothing to be a. I mean, but the point here is that there has been no vice president or president of America till now who is a woman. So that clearly shows the patriarchal bias in the society. Like that, you can't deny that. And I mean, for being her the first president of America, I mean, first woman vice president of America, and that too of a woman of color is significant because colored people do face discrimination in America. You can't just deny that. I mean, I mean, may not
Right,
be
so
now,
the
they don't face
difference-
discrimination now, but they have been historically oppressed communities. So that's what it is being celebrating about, and that's what I being the think that celebrating identities can become important. And I don't think that forgetting culture is essential, because what do you mean by forgetting culture? Culture includes language is culture, your art is culture, music is culture. Why should we be forgetting our culture? So I don't think
That's
that
not what I
we
meant.
should be
You know
forgetting
that's not
our
what I
culture.
meant. Are you serious? Do you seriously think when I said that in that aspect you shouldn't care
Yeah,
about
no,
culture? No. Do you really think that I'm saying forget culture? I'm obsessed with culture. I love to learn about
yeah.
culture.
So I
I
think
wish
that
I
you
had
said
more
that,
time to
but
learn
as a
about the
whole, the
culture. That's
point
not
that
my
the
point.
identity. Yeah, I appreciate that, but
Okay.
the point is that you made the point of identity politics and why identity politics is wrong. So in that
No,
context,
I
I want
did
to
not.
say that
Okay, actually, don't make that point. I say identity politics. There's wrong way to do identity politics, and there's a right way to do identity politics. Okay, this I've been okay. So here's what I've said. Okay, and I think you will agree with me on this. Okay, identity politics is wrong if you're using your identity to try to ask for privilege. That is wrong identity politics. Identity politics is correct when you're trying to remove the bias that is against you because of your identity. Okay, so again, identity politics is wrong
yeah,
when you're asking for extra advantages because of your identity. Identity politics is right when you're trying to say, hey, look, the society is targeting me, it's unfair to me because of my identity. Can we make it a bit more fair? Can we take us to a situation where my identity doesn't matter? That's the right way to do identity politics.
yeah. But I think that sometimes you can give some privileges to certain identities. Like for example, women in countries where women are oppressed and where they
That's
have
not a
very,
privilege.
I mean, the rights are not, yeah, rights are not
That's
equal, so they are
removing a
oppressed. So
bias.
in that case,
That's not giving
yeah.
them a
So you
privilege.
can,
That's
so
removing a
okay, okay.
unfair bias against them. Yeah.
No, no, no. I mean, just you, if you give reservation for women in some educational institutions, that 50% seats are reserved for women, then I mean that may seem like you are giving extra privilege to women.
Seem like it,
It
but
may
it's
superficially
not.
seem like that, but actually it's
Superficially,
not.
it
Yeah,
being the
that's what
key
I'm
word.
trying to say. Sometimes the reservation can be a way to, I mean, uplift oppressed communities,
That's what I'm
and that's
saying.
why I think that identity politics is not always wrong. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
I
are right
always
in
have.
that now. But in the
Okay.
video, it seemed like you are completely against identity politics, and that's what I am trying to like. Sometimes
Well, maybe.
I mean, identities are worth celebrating for because the identities are associated with oppression and discrimination till now. Yeah,
Right.
that's my
I
point.
always give the example of, like, let's say you're a rescue helicopter that lands in ISIS territory, right? And there are that you're trying to get people to get saved, right? And you only have one more spot left, okay? And there's two people charging at the helicopter trying to get out of this area, and one of them is a Sunni man, the other one is a Yazidi woman, and you only have one spot left. Are you going to make their identity an issue? Of course, you're going to make their identity an issue. If
Yeah,
I was in charge of the helicopter, I would let the Yazidi woman in, and I wouldn't let the Sunni man in because the Sunni man might be able to get away in ISIS territory, but the Yazidi woman has a less of a chance of it. So it's not me that is making their identity issue. It's the ISIS people who are making the identity issue. I'm just
yeah,
responding to them making the identity an issue. Okay. Another
yeah,
example that I give is, like, imagine if you're living under Germany during World War II, right? And you're trying to say, somebody comes at your door and you tell them that I'm a Jew, please hide me, they're after me. Are you gonna tell them, why are you telling me you're a Jew? Your identity doesn't matter to me. You're playing identity politics on me. No, you
yeah,
know that this person being a Jew has made other people have made this a target on his back. It's not him that is playing identity politics. It's other people that are playing identity politics. You're just responding to it. So I have been saying that. I have been saying that there are right ways of playing identity politics. Right.
yeah. And
Um,
another just last point
oh
is
shit!
that you
I
said
have
in
to
the
go. I have
Denmark.
to go. I have to go. I have another stream
Okay, okay.
coming. So thank you
Oh,
so
you have
much,
to
Katie,
come.
for
Okay,
telling
okay.
me.
Thank
Remember, you have a whoa. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna go get ready for that. But I went over an hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes. So, but we could do this, Ronak. Every time I cut you off and I say we need to move on, remember that we could keep doing this. Okay, so don't be upset with me or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna end this live stream. Guys, subscribe to my. Don't just subscribe to Atheist Republic's YouTube channel. Subscribe to Armin Navabi, link to this channel that we're streaming this on right now, and also follow us on Twitch. And yeah, I'll see you guys on a. Hey, whoever the people who are watching this on Armin Navabi live streaming on my personal channel, hop over to Atheist Republic live streaming in around 40 minutes. Okay, see you guys there. Bye. Hold on, don't go anywhere.